Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Friday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Good Morning with myself, Reganelite, here on Friday, the 27th of February, 2026. It is already near the end of February, guys, and literally by Monday, by the next time I go live, it's going to be March already. Time is going way too fast. Way too fast indeed. But don't worry, guys. Don't worry, guys. We've got plenty to discuss here in this hour for sure, guys. So for those who are new and don't know what this live stream is about, let me just give it to you for those who are new, who may be watching this here. In this 1 hour show, because we normally go roughly about an hour and we stop around about 12 o'clock, just for reference here, we give today's daily quote, which I will come to in a bit. We also look at the weather. We look at what the weather's forecasting. We have a look a bit around the world. It's always nice to have a look at what's going on around the world in terms of temperatures and all that. It's a bit of interesting. But we also specifically look at UK weather, what's happening today, and looking what's over the next couple of days. So you know what is going to be expected there as well. And then after that, we go to the media. We go and look at different media websites and see what the headlines they've got and see what stories they have for us. There is one in the UK, obviously, one that everyone will be talking about, which we will touch on a little bit, but I'm not going to dive too much into it, and I'll get to that in a moment why in just a little bit as well there. But we also look at not just UK news, we're going to be looking at some world news as well. I believe Hillary Clinton was testifying in court yesterday as well, so I'll see we can have a look in that and see how that went as well. There's also tension continuously building up between Pakistan and Afghanistan in the Middle East there as well, so that's very concerning indeed as well. So plenty of other things going on in the world right now. I'm sure probably America is at any point wants to start a war with Iran. I don't know when, but they're looking very close to doing that as well there. So just before we get started, let me just say hello to everyone in the chat. Who have we got in the chats here? So we don't have anyone in the Twitch chat. That is twitch.tv/Reganelite1. If anyone wants to subscribe on there, feel free to say hello in there. You hit that follow button. You can hit that bell notification icon on there. If you do that, you'll be notified when I go live on twitch.tv/Reganelite1 as well, which is pretty nice here. But if you're here on YouTube, you can also hit that like, share and subscribe button as well, and you can also after this live stream check out the home tabs, or if you wanted to you can click the link pinned at the top of the comments after this live stream, which will take you to my 20-minute video on the Green Party's win in the Gorton and Denton by-election. I played for you guys the speech from Hannah Spencer of her victory speech, and I also share the breakdown analysis from Sam Coates of Sky News about some of the number crunches with regards to the swing as well. So if you guys are interested in all that, the video is pinned at the top of the comments. Also, just finally, before I say hello to everyone as well, if you didn't see it, do check out our roundtable discussion last night, which was really, really good. Everyone really had a good time with it. Myself, Mark, Van Man Talks, Darren Daily Blase, and Mikey Famine of the Bin Podcast. I thought it was very, very good. I like how we were able to interconnect not just obviously what's been happening here in the UK, but also in the US and a bit about the world as well. I thought that was a really, really good discussion there. So if you haven't seen it, do check it out, guys. There it does start off talking about tea, so if you like to talk about tea, that's definitely something you can definitely listen to as well there. So who have we got in the chats here? So good morning, Billy Kershaw, hope you're doing well. Rosemary is there, I see, looking in the chat. Ellie is also there, good to see there, as long as the internet signal holds up. Cross fingers for the internet signal for you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Witchy Goth is there. Good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. Guys, make sure you check out Witchy Goth's YouTube channel. I don't know if you're going live today. Do let us know in the chat if you are, Witchy. Scott Hayes, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Peter, good morning to you again. Hope you are doing well. Leapskin, good morning to you. Mel, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well there. Person Impersonator, good morning to you. I just saw you there. Just scroll past there as well. Sarah Davis, good morning to you in a beautiful country of Wales. Hope you are doing well as well. I think that's everyone I can see that's said hello so far in the chats. That look like any moderators are here at the moment. Hopefully they will turn up soon, guys. Right, so let's get started with today's daily quote. Here is today's daily quote with Robert. I think I said this yesterday. I'm not going to pronounce that surname. If you want to try and pronounce that surname, you can do. I'm just going to say Robert, guys. Robert. So there is today's daily quote for the 27th of February for reference. 3 p.m. guys. So yes, Witchy Goth will be going. Excuse me. I took some Gaviscon because my stomach was feeling a little bit this morning, just before I come live. 3 o'clock, guys, today. Witchy Goth will be going live. And then, obviously, Daily Blase. Darren will be going live with his Friday Frolics at 5 p.m. Don't want to miss that, guys. Here is today's daily quote. Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. Don't let the fear of losing be greater than the excitement of winning. Yeah, and the Greens definitely were excited last night when they pulled off the win. Which, indeed. So, for Saturday and Sunday's daily quotes, as you guys know, I don't do the Good Morning shows on the weekend, so I'm sharing them with you now for the weekend. So, here is Saturday's daily quote. I'm just going to share it with you guys there, so you can see it there, just for reference there. So, what we achieve in Wortley will change outer reality. What we achieve in Wortley will change outer reality. It's a very odd one there, isn't it? It is a very odd one here. Now, they do have a daily quote for the 29th of February, if we ever have a leap year. But I'm not going to do that one because there isn't a 29th of February this year. But there's always that chance that it can happen. But I'm going to go straight to the 1st of February for Sunday, guys, because that's the first. Because Sunday is the first one here, and here is Sunday. Here is the daily quote of the first quote of the month there. And the 1st of March for Sunday is: the greatest wealth is to live content with little. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. And that are your daily quotes for today and for Saturday and Sunday, guys. I hope you found today's daily quotes. I'm going to say daily quotes. You guys, nice for you there. And I could just see Graham Hughes has just come in with his wonderful, lovely people there from Politics Social. Hello, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Hope you had a great morning, bro. I hope everyone is doing well there. I hope they're feeling positive that reform were denied, most importantly there. So, hope it's good to see you guys all. Hope you are all doing well. Right, let's have a look and see what the weather is forecasting for us today, guys. Shall we have a looky? Let's have a looky together here, guys. So, for reference, I'm using the bbc.co.uk/weather map. For those who don't know, link is in the description just for reference here. So, let's have a look at the weather. Then we will come to the news, guys. We will come to the news. Don't worry. Here is our big, blue, beautiful planet. It is set at today at 6 o'clock, just for reference here. And here are some of the temperatures and wind gauges that we've got coming up around our planet here. As always, guys, one of the coldest places on planet Earth is Yellowknife. Minus 36 degrees. Yeah, that's cold. I think I've seen it as low as minus 40. I don't know if I've seen it lower than that, guys. I don't know if I've seen it lower than that. But, whew, is all I can say. Anchorage, minus 26. Churchill, minus 33. Minus 33 as well. Vancouver 9, Winnipeg minus 11, Ottawa minus 1, Chicago 12, New York 5, Nashville 17, Denver 17, San Francisco 18 there. San Diego, a bit more warmer, 23 degrees. New Orleans at 22. A very nice, toasty, warm 28 degrees in Miami, Florida there. Very nice indeed for them. Mexico City 21, Kingston 30, Guantanamo City 26, San Jose at 29 degrees. A bit more down in South American continent. Temperatures are as high as 33 degrees, with some as low as 16 in La Paz there. And as well, you've got your usual tropical weather storms there on the South American continent. As for Africa, Central and Southern Africa, here we got temperatures as high as 29, with some as low as 20 in various parts of the continent there, with some showers, but nothing too much there, which is kind of not bog standard, unfortunately, for them there. Going a bit more across there, we got New Zealand there at 19 and 12 degrees, Auckland and Wellington respectfully there on there. In Australia, we've got Darwin there, 27 degrees there. Alice Springs at 23, perfect 20. Brisbane there, a nice 22. And Melbourne at 20 with their fair share of rainstorms there. As it is, of course, in the usual islands here of Singapore. 26 degrees. Philippines there's capital at 25 degrees. Bangkok, a very toasty 29 degrees there. In China, there, Shanghai, it's at 7 degrees. Beijing at 1 degrees there. On the Japanese island, Tokyo, there at 10 degrees there as well, just for some of the temperatures and gauges we have around there in the Asian part of the world. New Delhi, there at 19 degrees, going a bit more further across. Tehran, 15. Baghdad, 13. Kuwait City at 19 degrees, just for reference there. Saudi Arabia's Riyadh at 24. Cairo at 14 degrees there. Just before we go to Europe, let's have a quick look at our friends in Iceland. -1 degrees, guys, but they are getting some snow in the capital there. They are getting some snow in the capital, that is for sure there. Let's have a look and see what's happening in Europe's weather before we come to UK. Madrid 7, Lisbon 14, Tripoli 17 there, Tunis 16, Palmelo 13, Rome 13, and Nice, south of France, there at 13 degrees. The Swiss Alps, Bern at 11 degrees there. Paris is a nice 11 degrees as well. Moving a bit further over to Eastern Europe here, we can see Istanbul there at 5 degrees and parts of northern Turkey getting their fair share of snowstorms there. You can see Athens 11, Bucharest 11, Chistu 0, Kiev -1, so still, of course, very, very cold indeed. Let's give a nice warm hug to our friends in Ukraine. Zagreb at 10, Vienna 9, Prague 10, Berlin at 13 degrees, Warsaw there at 6 degrees as well. Moscow, a very cold -2 degrees, Volgograd at -8. And St. Petersburg, a little bit warmer for them there in 3 degrees. And Oslo at 3 degrees, respectfully, there. And we can see there Brussels also at 12 degrees, respectfully, there as well. So if I just pull it back to this is what they're expecting at 12 o'clock in less than an hour's time here in terms of weather forecasting here. And we can see temperatures as high as 13 degrees in London and as low as 9 degrees here. Now, I have said for those who have been following the Good Morning Show, I have been saying that tonight is going to be a cold night, depending on where you are. More so up in Northern Ireland, Northern England, Scotland. Temperatures are expected to really drop significantly here. And as I move that gauge across there, as the day passes there, you can see there is going to be some fair showers around the Midlands, bit of Northern Scotland, Northern England, and parts of Wales you can see there. Most of Scotland looks like it's going to be dry throughout the day as well. So you're actually going to get a dry day. There is some speck of snow from the looks of it there. Maybe that's just my eyes playing with me. But you can see as we go into Friday evening there, just at 6 o'clock, you can see it's dropped to 6 degrees in parts there. But even when you go into midnight, so you can see there, even at 9 o'clock in the evening tonight, you can see again, big drop in temperatures again, dropping down to 4 degrees there. No real change in Cardiff, London, respectfully, or even Manchester for that, God, not too bad there, but even there, so you can see on midnight there, temperatures dropping 3, 5 degrees, 5 again, there you can see. And if I go a bit more further, overnight on Friday night into early hours of Saturday morning, again, you can see those temperatures. They've all dropped, London, Cardiff, 7, 8, not as bad as obviously, of course, if you're living in Scotland or in Northern Ireland. Northern England will also experience some of that temperature, but not as much as Scotland will, doubling there at 3 degrees as well. But you can see Saturday morning, this is the temperatures that they are forecasting there on early Saturday morning there. 3 degrees, Belfast 0, doubling to Manchester 6, Cardiff 6, London 8. So when I said that tonight is going to be cold, I really do mean that. You might not feel it until the morning. So I do think just please make sure you wrap up warm. If you can afford to put on the heating, put on the heating. If your heating's set on a timer, set your heating for like 6 o'clock in the morning to warm up the house, because you will feel it in the morning. You will feel it in the morning. Depending on where you're living there. But luckily, guys, the temperature's not going to stick that way. It will rise up a little bit there, but you can see early Saturday morning in parts of the Midlands and Lower England there. Mostly Eastern England there is going to be getting their fair share of showers, so I'm probably going to experience some in the early hours of the morning there. But you can also see there's some shades of snow in parts of Scotland there. Not sure how realistic of that is going to settle. And you can see there's still those little shades of it there, but it's not really too problematic, shall we say. Temperatures staying a bit low. They're not going to really come back up until start increasing until around about lunchtime there. Most of the UK over the morning, Saturday morning, is going to be dry there. But it is gonna be a bit chilly, but it will start to warm up obviously a little bit there. A bit further on there, you can see 6, 8, 8, and 9, and 10. So the temperatures will come back up, and you can see this rainstorm is going to be coming in as well. Bit further on there for Saturday, about 6 o'clock there. You can see the temperatures, they're still staying pretty low up in the north there. 7, 8, 7, 7. So the temperatures are still going to be pretty low. And you can see Saturday night there, it looks like it's going to be quite cold as well. There will be some snow forecasted in parts of Scotland there, as well as some around Wales. Just a bit further over there, we can see overnight, midnight. To be fair, rain, snow doesn't really, you're not really thinking about it too much overnight unless you're a night worker. But most of it is going to be pretty much overnight there. But if we go into the early hours there, see those temperatures aren't as bad. Not as bad as it was for Friday there, even Sunday morning. But you will wake, some of us, especially where I am, and parts of Wales and southwestern England, going to be waking up to a bit of rain and downpour there. But it's not going to be to the end of the world, to be fair. Temperatures are going to come back up. And you can see here for Sunday lunchtime, temperatures are already back up to what they were. 10, 11, 11, 12, 11, 9 there for the weekend. So hopefully most of Sunday, I'd say most of Sunday, not the early morning, but mostly the afternoon, shall we say. Most of it should be dry, depending on where you are. Cross fingers, most of it stays that way anyway, to be fair there. And then we can just have a quick look at Monday before we have a look at the news, because we do have quite a few big things to cover anyway here. But we'll just have a quick look at Monday here. We can see overnight here, temperatures aren't going to be too bad again. In comparison to tonight and tomorrow night, you can see these temperatures, they're staying very high pretty much all around there. But there will be some rain and showers. But just looking at Monday, but Monday morning there, you can see little bits of rain, but you can see nice temperatures there. Not as obviously as warm as summer and springtime. Is it the end of the cold times? We'll have to wait and see, but we can see their temperatures as high as 13 and as low as 9 degrees with a little bit of shower here and there. So Monday should be actually a pretty decent day for most of us there. So that's what the weather is forecast, and we'll have a look on Monday what we're going to be seeing for the rest of the week there, just for reference there. Right, guys. So before I go into obviously the big story, obviously coming out of England, I wanted to share. You know, I thought it would be amiss of me to not share something, not to share this very, very important video. You know, obviously unfortunately for Reform Russia, they did not win the Gorton and Denton by-election. And sadly, I don't think they took it too well, guys. You know, I think they I think they took it quite badly, you know. And I thought this video kind of sums up. Yeah, it kind of sums up how the Reform are feeling right now. So let's just enjoy this, yeah, shall we?
Mr. Goodwin, a bit of an embarrassment, isn't it, to lose to the woke Greens, isn't it? Proud patriot, not able to win a British seat. Bit embarrassing, Mr. Goodwin, wouldn't you say?
Not at all.
Well, you've lost to the Greens, sir. You've lost to the woke Greens. You can't beat the Greens. What a joke. A proud patriot who can't win a British seat. My goodness, to the Greens of all people. You're going to moan about it on GB News? You're going to moan about it on GB News? How much of a loser you are? A loser to the Greens. My goodness. It's bad form, isn't it, to just lash out at the winners? Not very sportsmanlike behaviour, would you say, Mr. Goodwin? How does it feel to be a loser, Mr. Goodwin? Mr. Goodwin's a loser. Are you going to rally about it on your show, GB News? Losing to the Greens? Loser to the Greens? Goodness. The Greens of all parties, the woke Greens. What a proud patriot you must be.
Oh, I had to, guys. As soon as I saw that video, I was like, I had to share it with you guys. Of course, I sent it to Daily Blase. So I hope if you've seen it already once, if you've seen it twice, hopefully you will see it a third time later on today from Friday Frolics with Daily Blase. Because this is absolutely hilarious. Yeah, and I can absolutely tell you guys, yeah, they are sore losers. They really are sore losers. Reform UK. Now, some of Labour have been some people in Labour have been a lot better, shall we say, about it. There have been some people have been a lot better about it. But, you know, I said this yesterday, and I want to reiterate this for people who didn't hear me say this yesterday. You know, the disgusting, underhanded tactics by the Labour Party in the run up on that last voting day was absolutely outrageous from them, and no one should be approving the kind of tactics that Labour were doing in that last day, making up false misinformation about the Greens, and the language from some of the MPs and whatnot online was extremely vile. And you would expect that from Reform, you would expect that from Conservatives, but to expect that from Labour politicians, I thought was just outright disgusting. Now, most of them have been gracious in defeat from what Labour have been saying online, but some of them have just taken it, have not taken it very well. And obviously, the language coming out of people describing the Greens as terrorists, or I saw someone basically saying that anyone who campaigned for the Greens should be deported, which I thought, like, the language on Twitter has been really, really vile, really vile from people on the right. I should also point out for people who would also like to know, the Conservatives did not get their deposit back because that's how poor they did in this by-election, just for reference. So I thought people should know that as well. So not only did the Conservatives run a tiny campaign, no, they didn't even get a deposit back for it. So they literally threw money away for no reason. So I thought that was worth adding there. Like I said, guys, if you want to check out my full thoughts about the by-election win, the link is at the top pinned at the top there as well. But yep, Starmer faces renewed pressure after the Greens delivered the by-election upset in the Gorton Denton by-election. I'm just going to say this right now. I don't think there's not going to be Keir Starmer's not going to get the boot. He's not going to get sacked. He's not going to get removed from office right now. He's going to face pressure, yes, but is he going to get removed? No. It's going to come when the Scottish elections come around. When the Welsh election, when the Scottish, the Welsh, and of course the other elections coming up in May. That's when Keir Starmer will be tested, not here. And Labour have already said that. Oh well, it's a by-election, and they've already poured in the excuses as they come to realise that they weren't going to win this as well. And I still stand by my position, like I said yesterday, that I thought it was going to be a very tight race, and I stand by that. It should have been a very tight race, and that's and it wasn't. It was actually quite comfortable for the Greens. There. So what else we got here? Let's just have a look and see what other pieces here. So puts renewed pressure on Keir Starmer. Hannah Spencer speaking to everyday people's frustrations. Yeah, I thought her speech was lovely. Like I said, if you haven't seen it, do check out the video. Observers raised concerned over secret ballot breaches at Gorton and Denton by-election. So this is something. Now, I really want to make this very clear. This group, right, was literally only made a couple of days ago. This is not like a group, this Democracy Volunteers. This is not something that's been around for years. This has literally been put together, okay? And as Zach Polanski pointed out on Sky News this morning, and I really want to make this clear before anybody from Labour tries to claim that there was any kind of cheating or whatnot by the Green Party, the independent commissions, those who independently run the ballot boxes, the polls and all that kind of stuff, they found no cheating, no electoral interference of any signs, no vote rigging in any kind of way whatsoever. Well, I want to make that very, very clear. So if anyone is telling you that, they are lying. They are lying. There is no evidence to support that whatsoever. Nigel Farage has claimed that it was cheating. It's not. And for those who claim as well, and I also want to point this out as well because it's important to point, because Sam Coates of Sky News pointed out on his analysis piece. Anyone who claims that the Greens won this because of the Pakistani majority in the Gorton Denton by-election was the reason that they won because of that, that's bollocks. And the reason why it's bollocks is because they not only had to win voters from those areas, but they had to win them from other areas in that Gorton Denton by-election to get the percentage of numbers that they did. And that's really important context there. That's why they got such a high they got a high margin, not just from those communities, but also from white, black, and other communities living in Gorton and Denton. So to try and claim that the Greens won because of other nationalities living in the area is entirely false. Okay. Look at the analysis pieces. Look at the analysis pieces. Look at the data. Don't take it from Don't take it from me. Don't take it from other YouTubers. Don't take it from politicians. Look at the data yourself. The data will speak volumes about that because it will. I really want to add that context in there. Can you put it on Discord if not done already? I can't put it on Discord because Discord would because it's over a minute long. What I can do, I can put a link to it on Twitter if you want, but that's the best thing I can do. Because Discord wants me to pay for pro membership, which I'm not prepared to do. Damn, my poor little laptop has run out manually. Be like back. Generally in question, why do we bother during the weather? Because I like talking about the weather, and my viewers do, Benjamin. It's fine if you're not interested in it. It's fine. It's fine if you're not interested in it. Why am I even good to the evil, says Mel. I don't know. I can't answer that. So let's have a quick read of this. So, an election observer group has raised concerns over people appearing to collude on voting in the Gorton by-election. Again, like I said, there's no evidence to suggest this. So, Democracy Volunteers is an organisation founded by Dr. John Arlott and supported by the Conservative peer, Professor Robert Hayward, deployed 4 accredited election observers across the constituency. The team attended 22 of 45 polling while polls were open, spending between 30 and 45 minutes in each, working in pairs. The organisation said its volunteers were looking at people appearing to collude on votes in breach of a secret ballot, which is called family voting, as well as the impact of a requirement for voters to show ID before they were issued with the ballot paper. And again, I have to stress this for people who are saying that there's any kind of rigging. The independent body did not find any rigging in any way, shape or form. Okay, now obviously that can, if something comes up within the next later on today or the next day saying that there is, then obviously my position will change. But as of right now, I've not heard that. Manchester City Council said its staff have been trained to look for evidence of voter interference and that no concerns have been reported or raised with them while the polls were open. Again, this is a very key statement here. Democracy voters said while the enactment of Ballot Security Act in 2023 made family voting more clearly a breach of the secret ballot, signatories to discourage the practice was only seen 45% of the polling stations observed. The observing team said they saw family voting in 15 of 22 polling stations observed, reporting 32 cases in total, 9 cases in one polling station alone. The observer sample of 545 voters casting their ballots, of which they said 12% were either directed or affected by family voting. And again, it's just I really do have to stress this. Again, there's nothing wrongdoing done here whatsoever. Okay, I know some Labour staunch defenders will try to say that, but there isn't. Okay. Like I said, if you want to hear more about it, you can check out the video at the top, pinned at the top of the comments, guys. So let's have a look at what else there is. So this story has come out here as well from the Guardian. So Bangladesh court is requesting Interpol red notice for Labour MP Tulip Siddiq. So yeah, just on the not only did they lose the Gorton by-election, they've got this in the background as well. She has consistently denied the charges against her. As has the Labour Party. They do not accept the outcome of the Bangladeshi courts, and she continues to dismiss this. However, I have said before with regards to this because this has been going on for a long time, I do not find it comfortable whatsoever that a Labour MP or any MP or any politician has anything like this over their shoulders and they're not dealing with it. It's not a very good look, and it wouldn't be a very good look. I would not be comfortable if she was my MP while this is hanging over her. Now, I'm not saying that she's guilty. I'm not saying that she's innocent. But the problem is that she's just she's not going out of her way to prove her innocence. And this is the thing that I find very frustrating about this. If she could go out of her way to prove her innocence, I feel a lot more better about it. But it's kind of just a case of go away, stop asking me questions, ignore. And that kind of position makes them seem more guilty than innocent in all of this. And you could argue that Bangladesh is corrupt and its government is corrupt to a certain extent. I don't know enough about Bangladeshi politics to say yes it is or it isn't, but I just don't think her being an MP while this is hanging over her is very comfortable at all. That's just my personal opinion. Some people would disagree, and that's fine. But I don't think she should be an MP while that keeps floating over her head here. I do want to touch on this story that happened as well. This is absolutely disgusting. So a man was arrested after Churchill statue outside UK Parliament was sprayed with graffiti. So the Metropolitan Police arrest a man on suspicion of racially aggravated criminal damage after slogans including Zionist war criminal sprayed here. Now, I know I'm very aware of Churchill. I'm very aware of the history of him and whatnot, and I know you guys in the chat are too, and I totally I understand that. But this is stupid. This is pointless, and all you are doing is helping the people on the right. All you're doing is enabling the Israeli lobbies even more. You're not helping anyone whatsoever with what's happening in the Middle East by doing this. You really ain't not. Okay? Like, it's one thing to spray like orange paint on Stonehenge and whatnot. This is just not helpful. And especially when you're trying to win people over who are a lot more, especially there'll be a lot of older people who will be looking at this, and they will just not want to take any kind of take any kind of side whatsoever. Listen to your side if you think it's okay to taint the statue of Winston Churchill, because a lot of people do love Winston Churchill on there. A lot of people don't know the deep politics and the deep history of Churchill and things that he has done, not just obviously what as a prime minister and during the World War, but some of the other horrific things he did as prime minister, which you guys know. Not everyone knows that, because obviously we have a poor education system, as I'm sure you guys will agree with me to a certain extent here. But this helps no one. This really helps no one. So whoever did this, shame on you, because you're not helping Palestinian people. You're not helping stopping the genocide, and all you're doing is turning more members of the British public who are not as informed as you are about it, in turning them against you. That's all this has done. That's just all you have done here. So a 38-year-old dumbass has been arrested after the statue of Winston Churchill outside the House of Parliament was defaced, with graffiti calling the former Prime Minister a Zionist war criminal. Metropolitan Police said the man was arrested on suspicion of racially aggravated criminal damage on Friday morning. Other faces, including Stop the Genocide and Free Palestine, were sprayed in red paint on the bronze sculpture in Parliament Square, central London. Last December, both the Met and Greater Manchester Police announced that anyone chanting the slogan "Globalise," I'm not going to say it, would face arrest. The decision by the two police forces came after two terror attacks on Bondi Beach in Australia and Hendon Park Synagogue in Manchester on the 2nd of October. The former Prime Minister's statue has been vandalised several times in the past, including during protests. It was skulled during graffiti accusing Churchill of being racist in June 2020 during the Black Lives Matter protests, triggered by the death of George Floyd in the US. Later that year, in October, Extinction Rebellion activist was ordered to pay more than £1,500 after defacing the statue by painting racist on its plinth during the climate protests. I'm not denying that I'm not denying any of the slogans and whatnot that they were put on him, but like I said, this is not helping anyone. The 3.6 metre monument created by Ira Robert Jones was unveiled in 1973 by the former Prime Minister's wife. He's one of 12 statues on or around Parliament Square, most of well-known statements such as Abraham Lincoln and Nelson Mandela. There. What else we got here? Hornby sells a slot car racing brand Scale Electrics for £20 million. Oh, they sold the brand. They sold the brand. For almost 6 decades, Hornby has watched Scale Electrics drive revenues for its hybrid business, but on Friday the company said it decided to sell the famous Cotslar brand for $20 million to a little-known buyer. The Model Railway company, which also sells toy planes and cars under Airfix and Cordy brands. Please don't tell me they sold it to someone in America. They sold Scale Electric intellectual property rights to Burbeck Capital Partners. Kent-based Hornby was experienced a Holborn boom during the COVID pandemic. Has owned Scale Electric since 1968. Invented by Fred Francis, the very first Scale Electric was made in Hampshire in 1956. On Friday, Hornby's parent company, which also owns businesses including funerals and dignitary firm, was selling the Courtine racing business to Burbeck Capital Partners. Who are they? Oh, for fuck's sake. Burbeck is run by Mark Brown, the former chief executive of Skarsrak, the US-based spirit company that owns brands including Southern Comfort. The deal is for. So basically, we sold another British business has gone to the US, essentially, here. Fuck's sake. We got to stop selling to US firms. That's got to stop. Switching energy deals can save £200 as price cap falls, says experts there. Vegetarians have substantially lower risk of 5 types of cancer, apparently, there. Kingship carers in England to be given financial support in the government plot there as well. So those are some of the stories from The Guardian. Let's have a look and see what the Associated Press is saying for us today here. The Trump administration is detaining and questioning refugees already admitted to the US, apparently, here. Let's have a quick looky. Their family spent years opposing Venezuela's socialist system. The government reiterated by sending men to beat their fathers. The state oil company's workers, whom he accused of being uncooperative, other relatives were threatened. The situation became so untenable that families fled the country for the United States in 2021 after it obtained refugee status, according to one of the daughters, a 24-year-old clothing spokesperson who was interviewed by the Associated Press. The six siblings and their parents settled in Minnesota in 2023, living peaceful lives until the Trump administration said it was casting new scrutiny on refugees. One priority is those admitted to the US under the former President Joe Biden, who the government accuses of prioritizing quality over detained screening and vetting, with initial focus on 5,600 refugees who settled in Minnesota are not yet permanent residents, making them particularly vulnerable. And last month, 3 masked officers got out of a black SUV with tinted windows outside a St. Paul's apartment complex, handcuffed a Venezuelan woman and her mother, and told them their legal status was under review, according to the woman who asked for autonomy for fear of retaliation. Over turning years of presidents, immigration authorities have arrested or questioned dozens of refugees in Minnesota, attorneys and advocates say, with more detentions likely to come nationwide. Back in January, a federal judge ordered a temporary halt to the arrest and detention of refugees in Minnesota, while the lawsuit challenging the revetting continues. The judge ordered the immediate release of all refugees detained in Minnesota and those taken to Texas. 3 refugees told the Associated Press that whatever happens, the rounds of inconclusive interviews with intimidating immigration authorities, well after they thought that their status was safe, has them questioning their future in the US and living in constrained fear. I did say that when Trump won, that you had to get out of there. You know, you had to get out of there. Like, even if you've got all your papers in order and whatnot, and you're right, you just can't be safe. Like, if you're not an American citizen, you know, if you're of a certain background, like, you're not safe, even with the papers. Like, and this is just an example of that. And it makes me really sad, you know, because these are people who are just living their lives like anybody else, and they're being treated indifferently simply because by their nationality, or by their skin color, or by the accents that they have. And it's just it's utterly shameful, guys. It's utterly shameful. A chief judge warns Minnesota's top prosecutors and ICE obey court orders or face contempt. Oh, this is actually a really good. So I've got to share this story because I saw Mandami tweet about this as well. So a Columbia student was detained by ICE. It's abruptly released after Mandami meets with Trump. So yeah, I don't know if Mandami actually went to meet him, but he had a phone call with the president with regards to this, and basically got him released. This is I have to give huge credit to Mandami here for responding in the way that for responding to this as soon as he found out about this. This is how a leader responds to these things. It's very, very, very pleased about this. That he got released so quickly. So federal immigration authorities arrested a Columbia University student on early Thursday, triggering protests on campus and allegations that agents gained entry to the university-owned residence by posing as police officers searching for a missing child. Just hours after detaining student Ellie, through the federal government's abruptly reversed course, permitted her to walk free after an apparent intervention by President Donald Trump. In a social media post on Thursday afternoon, Mayor Zoran Mandani said he expressed concerns about the arrest during an unrelated meeting with Trump, who then agreed to release her immediately. "I'm safe and okay," she wrote on Instagram minutes after Mandami's post, adding that she was in complete shock from the experience. The head-spinning series of events marks the latest consequence of the unlikely relationship between Republican President and Mandami, a Democratic socialist who Trump once threatened to have deported. And on Thursday, while pitching Trump on a massive housing project, Mandami also called on the president to drop cases against several other current and former students facing deportation for their roles in protests against Israel. So this is a senior from Azerbaijan studying neuroscience and politics, hasn't been publicly linked to any of the pro-Palestinian demonstrations at Royal Columbia's campus. A self-described content creator, she has amassed a large social media following by sharing day-in-the-life videos and tips for navigating college as an immigrant. Early on Thursday, 5 federal judges gained entry to her apartment at 6 a.m. by claiming they were searching for a missing child, according to a petition from her lawyers and a statement released by Colombian acting president. Quote, the agents gained entry by stating they were police searching for a missing child. Shipman said in a video released on Thursday night. Security cameras captured agents in the hallway showing pictures of an alleged missing child. Alicia then dashed off a message of more than 100,000 followers on Instagram. DHS illegally arrested me, please help. A photo accompanied the post appeared to show her legs in the back seat of a vehicle. So, yeah. For whatever reason, they tried to target her. And luckily, Mondami got whiff of this and responded accordingly. Obviously, there are more that he's trying to get released. But the fact that he made the conversation with Donald Trump and Donald Trump ordered the release is it's a very positive thing. And this is once again another example of leading by example here from Zoran Mondami. Huge credit to the New York mayor, indeed. What else we got here? U.S. military used lasers to take down border protection drones, lawmaker has said there. Pakistan is in open war with Afghanistan after the latest strikes, defense minister has said there. Amphore refuses to bend to Pentagon on AI safeguards to dispute near deadline. That's very scary indeed. Like, why would you not want safeguards against AI? It's just insane. Want to know about the boat shooting in Cuban waters that killed 4 people. There, I'm just looking at stories on the right hand side before I come to Clinton. With only 3 women left, an Amazon tribe faces extinction. An unexpected birth now brings hope. And then we got here, Hillary Clinton testifies that she has no information on Epstein crimes and doesn't recall meeting him. So she's claiming she never met Epstein. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about it personally there. So the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton told members of Congress on Thursday that she had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell's crimes. Starting off day 2 are deportations that also include former President Bill Clinton. So she says, and I quote, and this is under oath, I've had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever accounting Mr. Epstein. Hillary Clinton said in an opening statement, she said on social media. Closed door deportation concluded Thursday after over 6 hours of Hillary Clinton giving an answer to every question. The deportations in the Clintons' hometown, a typical quiet hamlet north of New York City, comes just after months of tense back and forth between the former high-powered Democratic couple and the Republican-controlled House Oversight Committee as it investigates Epstein, who killed himself in a New York jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial. It will be the first time that a former president has been forced to testify before Congress. Yet the demand for a reckoning over Epstein's abuse and underage girls has become a near unstoppable force on Capitol Hill and beyond. Well, the thing is that there's been no accountability. No one's faced. Has anyone in the US specifically, has anyone in the US actually faced crimes for what's happened with the Epstein files? Has anyone actually been arrested since they've been since quite a good chunk has been released? Anyone at all? No. It's just ridiculous. Why is no one being faced with accountability for this? Yes, we know Peter Mandelson right now is under police investigation. We know that there's lots of other people who have been linked in different parts of the world, have been under scrutiny as well. Obviously, Peter Mandelson, Boris Brennard from the World Economic Forum was forced to step down. I think Norway is in crisis because of, I believe it's Prince, correct me if I'm wrong, or Princess linked to Jeffrey Epstein as well. So there are ramifications taking place in parts of the world with regards to the Epstein files, but none in the US right now. And that's probably because of quite a lot of them in the Trump administration who have deep links to Jeffrey Epstein. That's probably more wide than anything there. Iranian doctors say security agents swarmed hospitals to intimidate staff and seized protesters there. Jao, good morning to you. Good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. And Bandy, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. If I didn't say good morning to you, Benjamin, good morning to you. And Pete Den as well. Sorry, I didn't say good morning to you earlier. Harry as well. I see you there. Good morning to you. Townsend, John Marano. Hope I said that right as well. Good morning to you guys. think I've covered everyone who said hello. If I haven't, I do apologise. Just a quick reminder as well, if you want to contribute as well to the Super Chat goal, be greatly appreciated as well. If anyone wants to do that, definitely get your comment read out if you want to do that there as well. Sweden intercepts suspected Russian drone during a visit by the French aircraft carrier. Actually dropping that as a short video over the weekend, so you guys can have a look at that when it comes out over the weekend. A viral phenomenon in Argentina as young people identify themselves as animals. Okay, well, you know, it's just people being who they are. The most watched video. Police video shows the former WWE CEO Vince McMahon crashing his Bentley over 100 miles an hour. Now, as somebody who is a wrestling fan, I have not seen the clip. I'm not going to bother watching the clip. Generally because, like, this man doesn't, like, you know, considering the cases against him, I don't have a lot of I don't have any sympathy for this man. I know some people in the wrestling business do, because he's changed a lot of people. He's made a lot of people's lives some people's lives in terms of wrestling in their careers better, but in terms of how women have been treated under him, allegedly, yeah, I'm not so keen on him for those reasons there. So those are some of the stories from the Associated Press here. Let's go back to Sky News, see if they've got any other interesting stories here for us here. I'm just going to quickly refresh it here and see what they've got here. Starmer admits a by-election defeat, very disappointing, but he said he will continue to fight. Yeah, I was expecting him. That's exactly what I was expecting him to say. That. This is a parliamentary result for the ages. This is an interesting story here. So, Plaid leader warns Reform government would set Wales back decades. So, Plaid have warned Reform government would set Wales back decades as Roon casts the seed elections as a two-horse race. So he's expected to outline his priorities for the first 100 days of his government, should his party win power in May as his party spring conference this weekend. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they say over the weekend. His party will gather at Newport this weekend for its spring conference, where the Plaid leader is expected to outline his priorities for the first 100 days of his government, should his party win power in May. Ahead of the speech on Friday, he's expected to say that we offer hope that can overcome people's fears and other political forces leading Wales down a dark path. Hope that things improve in our health services, that our elderly relatives will not have to endure long waits for treatment, and that the burden of childcare costs on our sons and daughters' household budgets can be eased. That is one of the biggest problems have been in Wales, I think, more than anything. And please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that their NHS has been much worse than England's has been. That's something that definitely needs to be tackled for sure. Also criticised Reform UK over its recent high-profile defections from the Conservative Party and said Reform has zero loyalty to Wales. The only thing that the only thing I've been hearing from any kind of political tactics from Reform has been talking about, like, wanting to open up some of the coal mines in Wales. They bark on about immigration, which, by the way, even if they won power, they wouldn't be able to do anything from a Welsh perspective, because it's nothing to do, because it's a Westminster thing anyway. So it's not like, no, I don't see how you can really make an argument about immigration in Wales, but for some people, they actually buy into it there, unfortunately. A Reform government full of ex-Tories would send our country back decades. Faceless candidates and feckless council leaders from Northumberland to Kent are the canaries in the mines when it comes to what Farage has in store for our Parliament and our people. He will add that they will accept devolution for now, but they turn against him on a whim, and we all know they have zero loyalty to Wales and our nationhood, he said there. Well, we'll definitely have a look on Monday. I'm sure there'll be some pieces. There'll be some pieces on Monday from of it there as well. That is for sure. Assisting die bill will almost certainly fail due to a lack of time here. This is really bad, especially for people who want assisting dying to succeed here, guys. So the government says it will not give the bill any further debate at time in the Lords, meaning the Parliament session will end before it can pass. They're not going to pass it. And we know that the House of Lords are, I would say the vast majority of the House of Lords are against getting back in this bill. They really don't want to put this through, which is a real shame as well, because, and I've said this before and I'll say this again, because I'm not going to BS you guys, you know. I was not in favour of this bill because I felt they tweaked it too much and they didn't put enough safeguards in it. But I do think that, because I at the time, but I do think that they can make amendments and changes as they implement it to ensure more safeguards, for people. So and I think I'm thinking about more. The more I think about this, is that even though I do have questions and concerns about assisting dying, I think about those who are suffering as we speak, those who want to end their life and have that option to do so. I think about all those people. That's who I think about when I think about this, and I understand the concerns from those opposing it. I really do. They're worried about that it could open the door for other people, for an excuse for other people to end their lives when they're not dying, or for when they're not dying. And I absolutely, I want to make this very clear. Unless you are terminally ill, unless you are dying and there is nothing that can be done to save you, this should be the only, this option should be available to you. If you're not dying, you should not be anywhere near, if you're not dying, you should not be allowed anywhere near any kind of option of being allowed to die, for me, there. So the controversial legislation to permit assisting dying in England and Wales is set to fail because of a lack of parliamentary sign, Sky News can reveal. So Labour Chief Whip in the Lords, Rory Kenny, said this week that the government would not give the terminally ill adults free end-of-life bill, more time before the May deadline, when all legislation must have passed or automatically falls. The team behind the bill also confirmed that they now expect the legislation on its current form to fail. There are 6 remaining sitting days left before May, when the King's Speech happens, and the government is not repeating what it did in December by giving it more time. Advocates for the bill did not blame the government, which it said had been helpful to date, and instead aimed the fire on minority of peers who have been asking for thousands of questions about the details of the bill. Broadcasters and campaigner Ifin Razgan told Sky News, "This is absolute blatant sabotage. This is a handful of peers putting down 1,200 amendments, not to scrutinise the bill, which is their job, but to block it." Yeah, and I agree. A few peers, for their own reasons, have decided that they're going to stop this going through Parliament, and the only way to stop them would be to invoke the Parliament Act, which has happened before, or get rid of the House of Lords, which they're clearly not fit for purpose. She said she was still hopeful that the change would come, as there is a rising cry for reform all around the world. She paid tribute to Keir Starmer, who favours a change in the law, but said he has done everything he promised her before the election. Fratton Sutton, who has terminal cancer and wants to choose how she dies, told Sky News, "I don't want to die without dignity, without it being my choice, without my family knowing that this is what I want." And Dr. Gordon MacDonald, the chief executive of Care Not Killing, which is opposed to assisting dying, told Sky News the issue is very difficult and it needs proper scrutiny, and that's what the members of the House of Lords have been doing. Yeah, well then why not give it the time that it needs then? Didn't get proper scrutiny in the House of Commons. I don't agree with that. I do think it got. I don't agree that it didn't get enough time in the House of Commons. I think it got plenty of time in the House of Commons. I think it did. Some people may disagree. I do think it got that. It's right that Parliament looks at these bills properly and give them due consideration, and that's what the House of Lords is doing. No, the House of Lords are not doing this. They're blocking it. It comes across to me more as blocking it. I absolutely agree that they are just blocking it because a couple of them do not want this bill to pass. That's how I see it more there. Mandy says, "I lost my husband to colon cancer 2 years ago. It was heartbreaking seeing him lose his dignity, suffering in pain." Mandy, I'm so sorry that happened to you and you experienced that. I can't imagine what that was like for you, and it's a terrible thing. And the same to you, Rosemary, with your dad. People need to have this option when people are on deathbed, when they are dying. We want to give them, you want to give anyone who is on deathbed, you want to give them all a peaceful passing. I just think that should be something that anyone with any humanity would understand here. And I want to make it clear one more time here for people. Like, it really is important to stress that this that assisting dying should be only for people with terminally ill. If people are on deathbed and they cannot be saved, they should be given this option. They really should. It's just about the humanity of this, you know. But that's where I stand on it. I understand again the concerns around it. I really do. There. Any other interesting stories here? YouTuber accused of murdering pregnant girlfriend recorded live stream Abbey 4 days earlier. Oh my god. A man charged with possession of offensive weapon after Manchester mosque incident, and glad a man's been charged. Boy expects to be paralysed, able to walk after groundbreaking surgery. Wow. Wow. Miracle boy expected to be paralysed due to spina bifida, able to walk after groundbreaking surgery in the womb. Toby Maguires, who had condition in which the spinal cord failed to develop properly, underwent pioneering stem cell surgery as part of a world-first clinical trial. A 3-year-old boy who would almost certainly have been born paralysed because of severe spinal domination is still able to walk again. An ultrasound scan 20 weeks into pregnancy showed Toby Menace had spina bifida, disabling condition in which the spinal cord fails to develop properly during pregnancy, leaving part of it growing outside the body. But he became just the second baby to have abominably repaired before he was born using rejuvenated stem cells taken from the placenta. His mum, Michael Johnson, told school he was full of energy. He runs, he walks, he jumps, he's all over the place, she said. We expect Toby to be wheelchair bound, so to see where he is now is nothing short of a miracle. Toby was one of 6 babies in a world-first clinical trial led by the University of California Davis Children's Hospital. Around 25 weeks into the pregnancy, surgeon made a small opening in the mother's abdomen and wound, and then placed a patch of the stem cells over the baby's exposed spinal cord, and then closed up the incision to allow the tissue to regenerate. All were born healthy with no side effects from the treatment, according to results published by the Lankan Medical Journal. Toby's dad, Jeff, says he's the second human to go through the surgery stem cell, so there was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown. We're just blessed every day that we get to see Toby react and been affected by this very successful surgery. That's so fantastic. He led the studies, pioneered the technique, said the birth of the first baby girl called Robbie had been a surprise. The most exciting thing was when the baby came out, kicking her legs and wiggling her toes. Really exceeded expectations, she said. We expected her. She has not had the treatment, not been able to have that kind of leg movement. So I say cautiously optimistic. We're just making sure there are no unexpected things from the stem cell in the spinal cord. For she said, this is brand new. This is very good. This is very good, guys. We need stories like this of hope and optimism, especially when a young boy like that was supposed to be paralyzed for the rest of their life. It's wonderful to hear stories like that. We need more of that. So definitely happy to have heard that there. Guys, again, if anyone wants to contribute to today's Super Chat goal, be greatly appreciated. If anyone can, be very much appreciated there. You guys talking about Switzerland there. We haven't got much time left, so let's have a quick look at Al Jazeera before we head out here. South Sudan is at risk of return to full-scale war, the United Nations warns. They've kind of been they've never been really at peace. They've always had kind of some conflicts anyway, but yeah, it's never been good for the country's never been in a good place, unfortunately. They're not as bad as obviously Sudan is, but it's not good for them. Solidarity with Palestinians questioned as Indonesian troops set for Gaza. Pakistan says open war with Afghanistan, casualties on both sides. Yeah, it's very concerning indeed. I was so isolated. Pro-Palestinian activist attempted suicide in UK prison. That's really sad. All for, again, you don't have to agree, but to put them in prison for speaking out, it's just horrible. Israeli attack on police site kills 6 in southern central Gaza. Every day. These are daily occurrences, what's happening in Gaza. We're worth reminding us of that. Mass graves with 171 bodies found in eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, apologies, as reported there. 171 bodies. No longer a threat. How Canada U-turned on India ahead of Carney's visit there. Morado seeks dismissal of charges, claim US blocked legal defense fund. President Morado's lawyer said his client has a right to legal counsel of choice and has been denied by US government actions. Morales' legal team argued on Thursday that the case should be thrown out because the US government had blocked the Venezuelan government from covering the abducted president's legal fees and those of his wife. By blocking funds, the US administration was interfering with Mr. Morado's ability to retain counsel and therefore the right under the Sixth Amendment to counsel his choice, Morado's defense lawyer said in the filing to Manhattan federal judge. Interference with Morado's right to counsel under the Sixth Amendment to the US Constitution requires dismissal of the charges. US prosecutors allege that Morado abused his power in office and helped drug traffickers. There's no evidence for this. They're literally just holding him. They're literally just holding him. They're literally just holding the guy. Like, don't get me wrong. The guy is, like, don't get me wrong. This guy is a terrible person for what he's done in Venezuela. But, they have no right to do what they did. The United States government have no right to do what they bloody did to him. They're literally just holding him up for what? What's the reason? What are they holding him up for? Like, it's just a joke. Absolute joke, guys. Unfortunately, guys, we've come to the end of the show. Which is a shame. Unfortunately, no super chats or memberships, gifted memberships today, but can't always get what you want, guys. But I still appreciate everybody coming out today. So thank you guys all for coming along today. Thank you guys for all your comments. It is greatly appreciated here. So thank you guys for watching as well. So just a quick reminder, there's other live streams going to be taking place now and for the rest of this day. So I just want to let you guys know. So right now should be going live, should be Phil Morehouse on the different bias. If you want to hear I'm sure he's going to be giving his live thought reactions to the Gorton Denton by-election, among other things there. So you can check out Phil Morehouse now. He'll be live right now. At 1 o'clock, there will be the agenda with Phil Morehouse and Graham Hughes, I believe, on Politics Socials. You could check out more from that and other things going on in the UK from their perspective there. At 3 o'clock today, do check out Witchy Goth's live stream. She'll be going live at 3 o'clock. I'm not sure how long she's going to go live for. She might go for an hour, maybe 2 hours. But do give her some love and check out her live stream as well. 5 o'clock today, Friday Frolics with Daily Blase. I can't tell you guys how much fun that live stream is. I'm sure he's going to have plenty of stuff for you guys. It's a nice kickback, casual live stream. Just have a bit of fun. Do check out Daily Blase's Friday Frolics later on today. It's definitely worth some fun. A bit later on, about 7 o'clock, I believe, A. Thompson will be going live with his own live stream. So do check out the work that he does there as well. Max Robespierre will be going live as well tonight at 8:30, unless he says otherwise. So do check out his live stream as well. And then late in the evening will be, normally it's like a Graham Hughes will host Politics Social after party. I think it's like about 9:30 onwards as well there. Also, I believe the BIM podcast might be going live throughout the day as well, so do check out their work. There's lots of great YouTubers. Links for a lot of them are in the description of this live stream here. But I will be back live on Monday at 11 a.m. for another Good Morning show. So enjoy your weekends, whatever you guys are doing. Take care of yourself as always. And yes, be happy that we kicked reform out of Gorton and Denton. That's the big positive news there. We kept reform out. Let's hope, that more is to come here, guys. But on your way out, if you can, just hit the like button, share across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. And again, you can check out the home tab for more additional content. And if you haven't watched it already, do check out my video on the Greens winning the Gorton Denton by-election. Link for it is pinned at the top of the comments here as well. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.